Today, we're going to pull apart a pretty fascinating trend in city living by zooming in on one project, Kasara Urban Resort Residentials, right in Metro Manila. We're going to look at its location, the lifestyle it promises, and, of course, the investment side of things to see what it all says about how we're trying to find balance in our busy cities. Okay, let's get into it.
So what even is an urban resort? Well, the idea is to basically carve out a slice of paradise right in the thick of it all. It's this promise of an escape not after a vacation, but, after a Tuesday at the office. And that's really the heart of what Kasara is all about, tapping into that need for a mental break from the daily grind. And this quote from the developer, Empire East, just nails that aspirational vibe. See, it's not just about selling you an apartment, it's about selling you the dream of being on a permanent staycation right in Pasig City. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with its location on the C5 corridor. Then take a walk through the property and check out the units. After that, we'll crunch the numbers. And finally, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually get one. First up, let's talk about the C5 corridor advantage. You know what they say in real estate? Location, location, location. So let's really dig into why this spot is such a big deal. Now, what's really important to see here is just how central Kasara is. It's sitting right on C5 Road, which is one of the main arteries of Metro Manila. That means you're plugged directly into huge business hubs like Ortigas City, Eastwood City, and of course BGC.
And that location translates into some very real everyday benefits. You've got easy highway access, you're close to malls and schools, and you're cutting down on commute time. But look at that fourth point, connectivity. We're talking about future train lines. That's a massive deal because it basically future-proofs the investment.
And here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The future Metro Manila subway is going to have a station just 1.7 kilometers away. Now, for anyone who owns property or is thinking of investing, seeing a major project like this pop up nearby is a huge, flashing green light for long-term value. All right, so we've covered the strategic where. Now for Section 3, a tour of Kasara. Let's actually explore what it's like to live inside this urban resort. What's the vibe?
So this site plan gives you that bird's eye view. We're talking about a 1.8-hectare property with 6 towers. But what really jumps out at you is how much space is left open for amenities. That's the secret sauce to making a resort feel like a resort in the middle of a city.
And here are the star attractions. The centerpiece is this huge lake-inspired swimming pool. It's really designed to be this calm oasis. And right next to it, you've got active stuff like a basketball court. It's that mix of chill and active that really delivers on the whole urban resort promise.
And it goes way beyond just the pool. The list of amenities is seriously long. You've got your clubhouse, a daycare for families, a full-on gym. This really points to what people want these days. A community where everything, wellness, family time, your social life, can happen just a few steps from your front door. It's all about that built-in convenience.
Okay, so from the community grounds, let's head inside. Section 4 is all about taking a peek at the residences themselves. This table gives you a quick snapshot of the options. They've got everything from a compact executive studio, around 5.4 million pesos, all the way up to these huge bi-level penthouses. So there's clearly a range here designed for everyone from young professionals to growing families.
And here we go, a little look inside. This is a 2-bedroom corner unit. You can see the clean design, but more importantly, notice the big windows and the balcony. That's all by design to pull in as much natural light as possible and give you a view of either the city or all those amenities downstairs.
So now that we've seen the lifestyle, let's switch gears a bit. Time to put on our investor hats. Let's get into Section 5, Kasara by the numbers. Is this just a cool place to live, or is it a smart place to put your money?
I want to start with just one number, because it really tells a story. 200%. So what do you think that represents? That is the value appreciation. The price per square meter here has jumped from about 75,000 pesos back in 2011 to over 210,000 pesos in 2024. That's a 200% increase in 13 years. For anyone who got in early, that's a fantastic return. And things get even more interesting when you put Kasara side by side with its neighbors on C5. You can see it's priced more competitively than some of the newer, flashier developments. For an investor, that's a signal. It suggests there's still a lot of room for its value to grow and catch up.
Okay, so appreciation is one thing, but what about rental income? Well, based on 2024 data for Pasig, a unit here could bring in an average monthly revenue of over 38,000 pesos from short-term rentals. That gives owners a really clear way to generate cash flow.
So the location is a winner, the lifestyle is super appealing, and the numbers look pretty solid. Let's wrap this up with our final section, the final details. How does ownership here actually work? They've really simplified the process into 3 basic steps. First, you pay a reservation fee. You can do that through a bank or even online. Next, you send over all your documents digitally. And last, a salesperson basically holds your hand through the final confirmation. They've made it as painless as possible.
And that brings us to our final question for you to think about. When you look at a project like Kasara, with all its green space, its amenities, its focus on community, it really makes you wonder, as our cities get more and more crowded, is this urban resort idea less of a luxury and more of the new standard for a good life in the city? Something to chew on.